Module Overview. This foundational module sets the stage for the entire course by exploring the essence, nature, and significance of constitutional law. It provides a thorough grounding in what a constitution is, the purposes it serves, and why it is considered the supreme law within a legal system. This module delves deeply into the historical development of constitutionalism, the philosophical underpinnings that justify constitutional limits on government power, and the practical functions constitutions fulfill in organizing societies. The objective is to equip you with a comprehensive understanding of the Constitution's role as the ultimate source of legal authority and the guardian of fundamental rights, setting the framework within which all laws and government actions must operate. 1. The concept and definition of a constitution. Meaning of a constitution. The module begins by unpacking the concept of a constitution, defined broadly as the fundamental legal document or set of principles that outlines the organization, powers, and limits of a government. It establishes the structure of state authority and delineates the rights of citizens. Written versus unwritten constitutions. Analysis of different types of constitutions. Written constitutions are codified documents, e.g., the U.S. Constitution, while unwritten constitutions, e.g., the UK, are derived from statutes, conventions, judicial decisions, and historical documents. Constitution as a social contract explores the philosophical basis of constitutions as agreements among the people and the state, influenced by social contract theorists such as John Locke, Rousseau, and Hobbes. 2. Historical evolution of constitutionalism. Early origins. Traces the roots of constitutional ideas back to Magna Carta, 1215, the English Bill of Rights, 1689, and other seminal documents that limited monarchic power and laid foundations for modern constitutional governance. The Enlightenment influence. How Enlightenment thinkers advocated for natural rights, separation of powers, and the rule of law, shaping constitutions globally. Modern constitutional developments. Examines landmark constitutions such as the U.S. Constitution, 1787, the French Declaration of the Rights of Man and Citizen, 1789, and post-colonial constitutions in Africa and Asia. 3. Functions and purposes of a constitution. Establishing government structure, defines the framework of government, specifying legislative, executive, and judicial branches. Limiting government power. Constitutions impose legal constraints on the government to prevent tyranny and abuse of power. Protecting fundamental rights, guarantees rights and freedoms to individuals, ensuring government cannot infringe arbitrarily. Providing legitimacy. Constitutions confer legitimacy on governments, grounding authority in legal and moral foundations, ensuring stability and continuity. Offer a predictable legal order, ensuring smooth governance and transition of power. 3. Functions and purposes of a constitution. Establishing government structure, defines the framework of government, specifying legislative, executive, and judicial branches. Limiting government power. Constitutions impose legal constraints on the government to prevent tyranny and abuse of power. Protecting fundamental rights, guarantees rights and freedoms to individuals, ensuring government cannot infringe arbitrarily. Providing legitimacy. Constitutions confer legitimacy on governments, grounding authority in legal and moral foundations, ensuring stability and continuity. Offer a predictable legal order, ensuring smooth governance and transition of power. The Constitution as the supreme law. Supremacy Clause and its implications. Discusses constitutional supremacy, that any law or government action inconsistent with the Constitution is void and unenforceable. Hierarchy of laws. Explains the legal order placing the Constitution at the apex, above statutes, regulations, and administrative acts. Judicial review. Introduces the mechanism through which courts enforce constitutional supremacy by invalidating unconstitutional laws or actions. Limitations and challenges. Addresses complexities such as constitutional amendments, conflicts between constitutional provisions, and balancing rights. 5 principles underlying constitutional law. Rule of law, the principle that all persons and authorities are accountable under the law. Separation of powers, allocation of governmental functions among branches to prevent concentration of power. Checks and balances, mutual oversight mechanisms to ensure no branch exceeds its authority. Popular sovereignty, ultimate power resides with the people, exercised through constitutional frameworks. Protection of minority rights, safeguards against the tyranny of the majority. Practical examples and case studies. Case law illustrating constitutional supremacy, such as Marbury versus Madison. Madison, 1803, which established judicial review in the U.S. comparative analysis of constitutional documents from different countries. Historical incidents where constitutional limits were tested or upheld. Key takeaways. Financial decision-making must be structured, data-backed, and free from emotional bias. Frameworks like CBA, break-even analysis, and marginal analysis guide better choices. Accountability systems transform plans into action and drive consistent performance. Transparent communication and measurable expectations promote a culture of ownership. Dashboards and metrics help track progress and adapt in real time.